Hi guys, today I'm actually going to be doing a cut crease on a prom client that I had. So I wanted to kind of teach you guys and show you my skills and my way of kind of doing this since you guys really appreciate that. But as you can see, I'm applying concealer or priming the lids. And now I'm going ahead and filling in the eyebrows. In this case, I'm using the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Brow Pencil. And it is in the shade 40. So I'm just filling them in very lightly since she already has a pretty defined eyebrow shape. And I'm also using the IT Cosmetics Universal Brow Pencil just to kind of perfect her brow. Then I'm going to be concealing the bottom portion of the brow just to get it a little bit more arched. And adding some Gimme Brow by Benefit Cosmetics. So this is going to be a gel that's going to really help glue in some way the eyebrow and not let it drop throughout the night. For the palette, I'm going to be using the Meet Matte Trimini palette by The Balm Cosmetics, and I'm using Matte Evans as a transition shade. So I'm just going to be using matte colors. The focus of this look is going to be a glitter cut crease. So right now I'm just kind of, making it look nice with a transition shade. So I'm going to make sure that that's completely blended. Then I'm going to go in with a darker transition shade. This one's Matte Reed. So it's right next to the brown that I used. And I'm going to begin to just emphasize a little bit more on the crease. For this look, she kind of just showed me a few pictures. And at first, we were just going to be doing somewhat of a glittery look. So I ended up using Thirsty Girl by ColourPop. But then she said she wanted a cut crease glitter look. To make it a little bit more dramatic, I ended up using a glitter later on, so that the cut crease looked very, very dramatic. So you can technically skip this step that I'm doing right now. When you're doing makeup for people, usually they change their mind or, we find something better for their eye shape. So that's what I'm doing here, blending the eyeshadow. And now I'm applying a glue or an adhesive for the glitter. This one is the NYX Glitter Primer. This is probably one of my favorites because there's been a few that I've used and they completely suck. Like, I do not like them. So this one is bomb. So this glitter that I'm using is from Makeup Geek. It is in the shade Asteroid. And I love how fine this glitter is. It's not too bulky and it does very, very well with the adhesive. So for the cut crease, I'm going to be using a black from the palette from the Balm Cosmetics. So this is going to take me a little bit of time to create. I know it looks like I'm going really fast, but I take my time with this, especially since the glitter is already applied and, blending is necessary. So as you can see, I'm going to be moving from one eye to the other just to make them look identical, or as much as I can, of course. And since the eye look is already dramatic, I am going to be applying an eyeshadow on the eyebrow bone, but it's going to be a matte shadow as well. So it's Matte Lin from the same palette. Now I'm wiping any excess glitter that might have fallen, and I'm going to be applying a small wing. Nothing too dramatic since we already are doing a cut crease. And I'm using this liquid one, which is my favorite. It is the Rimmel Exaggerate eyeliner. It's one of my favorites because it's completely matte and it's very easy to use. I'm going to be curling her eyelashes because hers were very, very straight and I want them to blend in with the lashes that I'm going to be using. For the lashes that I'm going to be using on her, these are the Lena lashes in Tina. And typically I kind of apply a few lashes near her face to see which ones are going to look a little bit better, especially depending on the look. So these were, I think, perfect. Not too exaggerating, a little bit subtle, but you can definitely see that she had some sort of lash on, and I'm just perfecting the eyeliner. But now I'm going to be applying a primer, and I'm using the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer. And for the foundation, she actually gave me the foundation that she wanted me to use on her, and it is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. So I'm just dabbing it with a damp beauty blender. And usually with me, I love using beauty blenders. I feel like they're easier to use. They look more natural. You're not going to see any type of strokes or brush strokes on her foundation. I just find it a lot easier to use. But it's definitely up to you. That's just my preference. I wanted to put it out there because I know many of you are going to ask why I don't use a brush to apply the foundation. It kind of just depends on the person. And I mean, her skin looked pretty flawless, so I felt like a sponge was going to do the trick to make it look even more flawless. So I'm dragging it all the way to her neck. I asked her where her dress ends just so that it matches the whole way. Just so that we don't have anything going on with her foundation not matching any part of her neck. So now we're going to be perfecting her skin a lot more, and I'm adding the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, but this time in caramel, and I'm going to be using this for color correcting. So as you can tell, I put it underneath her eyes to make sure that she has no under eye circles and next to her lips. And for the concealer, I'm using the Pure Cosmetics Disappearing Ink Concealer for the under eye area. And I went over with her foundation around the lip area. So here I'm just hiding that red shade that I applied. And now I'm going to be highlighting a little bit more using the MAC Cosmetics Pro Longwear Concealer and just dabbing it with a damp beauty blender. And I like to go back and forth, making sure that everything's completely blended, especially since we are going in with a lighter color. I want to make sure to blend away. On the side of the nose, it's very important because depending on the nose shape, sometimes we kind of forget that area. I don't know if it's happened to you guys. And now I'm going to be applying the Sasha Cosmetics Buttercup Powder, and I guess I'm going to be baking for a little bit. I'm going to leave the powder there while I do some other stuff. I'm going to be adding another layer of adhesive just so that the lashes are very, very sturdy and they do not fall throughout the night. And I'm going to be bronzing as well. I'm using the Chocolate Soleil by Too Faced. I don't want to contour her face too much just because I feel like we already have a lot of stuff going on her eyes, but I will be contouring her nose just to give some definition and make her look a lot more defined in that area. And I'm using the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil to contour her nose. And now I'm using the Sasha Cosmetics Buttercup Powder, and I'm going to leave it there while I blend everything else out. And that's going to be very highlighted once I remove it. And I go back and add more bronzer. So this is kind of how my method works. I keep adding as I go, wherever I feel like it's necessary to add. And I'm using the Makeup Geek XOXO blush. It's a very pink blush. I'm using a small amount and then blending it a lot. Then after I'm done blending, I'm going to take Matte Read again and I'm going to be smoking out the bottom lash line. This is going to really make her eyes pop, especially since I only did the sides, not the whole entire bottom area. And for the highlight, I'm using Opal by Becca Cosmetics. And she really loved this highlight. She asked me which one it was because she really wants it. I think it looks great on her skin tone. And once I think I have a sufficient amount of highlighter, I'm going to be blending it as much as I can, making her skin look very dewy. And for the lips, I wanted something very subtle since she already has a cut crease. So I went ahead and applied the Rimmel London 16-Hour Kiss Proof Lip Color in Skinny Dipping. And I absolutely love this color. It's like a matte liquid lipstick, but it has shine and it does not move. So I really, really loved it, especially with the look that she had. And I did let her keep the lip color so that she could reapply throughout the night. But now I'm just taking off the pins, and the hair was very simple to do, you guys. I just curled it and pinned it, left it there for 2 hours. And these are very flawless curls, very elegant. I'm not going to use too much hairspray, and we are going to be swooping her hair to the side. Her mom's actually putting her earrings on and she switched into her dress, and I'm just going to be applying the spray, and we are completely done with this look. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys haven't. Bye guys!